to all my people who run DJ Academics TV or Academics TV on Twitter. I think they figured it out, right? Along with a couple fans, that it appears Young Gunna Wanna has chosen to cover up the tattoo that says YSL. Let me go to DJ Academics TV on Instagram. You guys should follow all these pages. It appears that Gunna has now covered up the tattoo. When was this posted? Jesus Christ. And it's a tattoo of YSL. Now, I've been telling you guys tattoo. When was this posted? Jesus Christ. And it's a tattoo of YSL. Now, I've been telling you guys this for a while. Gunna got out of jail, and he's been trying to hopefully getting forgiven by Thug. From what I hear, he was down to, when he got out on the Alfred plea, he was down to, be the guy who was holding the YSL flag, getting money in for the label in case, blah, 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 blah. Thug ain't with it. Thug got a lot of artist friends. They might not be YSL, whether it's Savage, Dirk, obviously Dirk's locked up now, Baby, other people. He's not looking to Gunna for Gunna to, oh, yeah, go take the Alfred plea, get free, and go on some tours and send money back to me. No. For whatever reason, he don't fuck with the fact that Gunna kind of went on his own and took this plea to get out of trouble, not knowing what his plea could have implications for everybody else. Now, I've been told this a bunch of different ways, because some people would like to say, well, why is he mad at Gunna? His brother also took a plea. Here's how it goes when these guys claim gang, but everybody knows what this is, right? Everybody's gang until you get in the interrogation room and you got to call your lawyer by yourself and it says attorney-client privilege. It's not about what your code's saying at that point. From what I understand, Thug, and this is where I think that Thug is going to learn an important lesson. Thug wants to play street in the industry still. I don't think that's going to work. Young Thug is still, let me say it one more time. Young Thug is still trying to play street in the industry. It's not going to work. So, what Thug did, for what I hear, was honorable. He operated as a leader. He didn't fold on any of his guys, not that he really could. His guys didn't fold on him. Even the guy who folded Woody kind of ended up pretty much helping him, even though he still don't fuck with Woody. But Thug's entire thing was, it's not only for me to get out on the other side. And some people do look at it like fans. We look at it like, well, we don't give a fuck about this guy and that guy. We care about the star. Thug was trying to make sure they all got out. What happened was that as prosecutors were wheeling and dealing, and they're like, well, Gunna, you don't really got too much to do with this, but you could have something to do with it. Gunna decided to make a personal choice. A choice for him, his family, his well-being, and for his career. That choice was not consulted with the rest of the people. Now, as I said, I think Thug has a major flaw. He's acting like the music industry is the streets. That's always going to fuck you up. And I don't think Thug's legal problems are going to end. I know he's on probation. I think there's more to come. I'm going to tell you why. Until you disassociate the industry and the streets, you're always going to fall in that pitfall of you trying to be real for the streets. So Gunna makes a personal choice. He gets out of Dodge. From what he was explained to him by his lawyer, nothing he said. He was never going to be able to testify against Thug and them. He felt like, I'm isolated, I'm dipping out. Thug was always looking at this as, if we're not making a decision as a group, you're making a decision that's going against us. Because it's going to make it harder. They could leverage you. That's snitching. That's been Thug's demeanor then. That is Thug demeanor now. So when Gunna got out, and he was ever speaking about YSL or Thug. He spoke very complimentary, and Thug ain't like that shit. I got all the voice recording. He sent 4 voice notes out to other artists saying, I want to drop when that fuck nigga dropping. I don't like that nigga. Well, he was on the jail phone, so he said it coded. Yo, do a verse for me. Do this. He wanted to shit on Gunna. Gunna at the time is saying, nah, listen, man, Thug is, he's speaking highly of him. Thug also can't say certain shit because Gunna is technically part of the case and could be seen as a witness and could be intimidation. So that's where you see like all the families saying, oh yeah, no, there's no problem, whatever. I was on the proper authority that even though YSL was dropping his first project, the one with Bread and Butter and all that, and what's that called? The one that went #1. Yeah, I know the song. Fuck you mean. They would drop the music, but that's Thug's label. They ain't fully banging with him. I told y'all way back, I said, Gunna was going to end up on Warner or Atlantic. What had happened was 300 got merged over there. A lot of people said, nah, Ak, you're lying. I'm telling you what the executives are saying. Thug don't like the nigga, genuinely, from the bottom of his heart. Now, the reason why I say Thug is going to get caught up and fucked up in a lot of this shit is because he's taking this shit so personal. He thinks fans like us give a fuck about his street codes. We don't. We like snitches. I know some of y'all might not like quote-unquote snitches, but Gunna makes good music. We're not looking at him as snitching. He looks at Gunna as a snitch. We don't look at Gunna as a snitch. You see, it's easy when it's 6ix9ine and he's on the stand pointing. It's easy. These gray areas where he deems somebody as a snitch, but fans don't deem him as a snitch or even care, it becomes a little problematic. So, let me speed the story because I know we got to get to other topics. Jeffrey finds a way out of his situation. Even though he didn't get found not guilty, he got a plea as well. But his plea was favorable, and his plea it's kind of insinuated in the plea that he got. The prosecutor ain't really had nothing for him. So he continues the same mindset of saying, if everybody stayed solid, we would all get the fuck out. Even a guy who was accused and charged with murder, Gotti, I believe, or attempted murder, he's also getting out. So basically, they looked at it and say, why did this nigga separate from us and flip on us? Granted, no one really went down for some shit. Actually, some people, but they were in jail already. Already had other charges. He holds it against Gunna because he thinks what Gunna did was dishonorable to the street code, dishonorable to him, and Gunna is a goddamn rodent. Master Splinter. Now, when Thug gets out, you see Gunna's demeanor change. Gunna stopped shouting out Thug because Gunna was shouting out Thug when Thug couldn't say nothing. That's why Thug was trying to drop on his release date, send out these voice notes, because I'm telling you, and I remember people tell me I was lying. They were like, no, he was desperately telling everybody, I hate this motherfucker. Don't support him. Tell people I don't like him. Fans didn't care. When Thug gets out, for real, and he could speak for himself, you hear what he said. Yo, Gunna, stop acting like we friends. They ain't delete it. But you stop seeing Gunna claim YSL. Gunna's plan, I'm telling you this is a fact. He always thought Thug would be free. But he thought that once Thug got his freedom and didn't get all those years, granted, I think he got let out maybe a year and a half before Thug. He thought Thug would forgive him. Thug would be like, all right, bro, yeah, you right. Like, what they caught you up on wasn't really shit. It's all good. You're my mans. You're still gang. Thug is not letting it go. So Gunna at that point realizes not only is Thug free, there's no place for me on YSL anymore. And there's no love and there's no more returning to that friendship. Gunna always wanted to get back together. Thug never wanted to. That was crystallized when Thug got out. And now Gunna has accepted that. What happened is that Gunna had a YSL tattoo. He's now covered it up. You see some flames. This is the new fit Gunna. He's covered up YSL, the snake, and also the word or the letters YSL. Okay? The update is that Thug still feel the same way. Thug still on his head top. Thug hopped up in the comment section after another page, Our Generation Music, posted the YSL thing here, it being covered up here. You heard what Thug said, and you know this is Thug's page. He says, I mean, he did say he did say it must end. LOL. Chat, for all y'all fans who are just wishfully thinking these guys were gonna come back together, this is the question that most of y'all are not prepared to answer. I don't care. I get it. I might think me and the Vlads and the Charleston Whites, oh, y'all like people who cooperated. That's not what it is. We're just not street dudes. We don't care. Y'all don't really care either. Because if y'all really cared, it's very obvious that Thug feels so deeply offended by what Gunna did, he thinks Gunna is a snitch. Y'all still listen. Y'all gonna still listen to Gunna. Y'all still gonna listen to Thug. So that's the point where I'm saying Thug is thinking the industry or fans are going to move on his principles. And when 6ix9ine snitched, DSPs blackballed him for snitching because he was not cultural. DSPs blackballed him for snitching because he was not cultural. The DSPs love Gunna. Fans still love Gunna. The point is, I say that to say, Thug, with all due respect, you're on the clock. This and Gunna ain't gonna help you. Drop a hot album. We want to hear your story. This whole anti-Gunna campaign, it just ain't working. So we just need you to drop some hot shit and let Gunna go have his career because he gonna have an illustrious career. And every single day that passes by, more and more people start fucking with him. You see Offset with him? Obviously DDG, but DDG's not a street dude. You see, I think he did some shit with Roddy Ricch. Yeah, people don't give a fuck. Last thing I'll say before we get on to what we got to get to. My advice to Thug, you dropped a song with Future, it debuted outside of the top 40. Your first song debuted outside of My advice to Thug, you dropped a song with Future, it debuted outside of the top 40. Your first song debuted outside the top 40. I'm not saying you waited long enough, but maybe it's not hot enough, and I know you're talented enough because you are one of those legends. Get on your shit. You need to drop a fire album. By the way, Youngboy's on that time right now. He's on the clock too. But here's the thing. Everybody know Youngboy. No matter how much time you lock him up, this and third, Youngboy a little bit mentally, he not about to come back on some different shit. The judge told you can't wipe your nose no more. You can't say you slum. You can't even say YSL. This is why your comment said, he said it must end. You can't say YSL. So you are neutered. You're rapping with your hands behind your back. They try to revoke your shit because you try to speak up for Baby. I don't know how you're going to make that music. And you're really talented. I think you can. But that remains to be seen. You're on the clock. Forget about Gunna. It's about you. I think YB about to go put out a classic and go on tour and go sell every place out. But we'll talk about YB in a little bit. Leave Gunna alone. Move on. Anyway, I just want to do that quick.